In this clip, I'll talk about initial coin offerings or ICOs. First, I'll define the characteristics of ICOs. Then I'll talk about ICOs in the global fintech market. And finally, I'll talk about ICOs between fintech and alternative finance. Initial coin offerings are the digital equivalent of initial public offerings through which a company opens up to the public by selling shares in the stock market. ICOs are the means through which private entrepreneurial projects get funding from investors in exchange for shares or equity. While IPOs are subject to specific legal requirements, compliance, and administration, ICOs are contracts between parties, hence subject to a different legal framework. Contractual terms of the ICOs are usually set out in a white paper. Investors are engaged through a digital platform. Equity is usually released in the form of crypto tokens, and these tokens may be exchanged on a secondary market. ICOs directly link entrepreneurial projects to investors. The majority of ICOs involve coining new cryptocurrencies, but a substantial minority are used to back ICT-enabled projects. The ICO market has been rather volatile over the last few years, although it has been growing at appreciable rates. Its size is still relatively small, totaling only about $4.4 billion, excluding blockchain and cryptocurrencies, compared to the fintech sector as a whole. Between 2017 and 2018, the number of ICOs more than doubled, from 1,000 to 2,200 projects, but the total amount raised grew by only 10%, from $10 billion to $11.4 billion. This means that on average, the size of ICO projects went down from 24 million to about $11.5 million between 2017 and 2018. The ICO marketplace concerns mainly the IT domain. The main share of successful ICOs have been raised in support of technologies close to cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and platforms. Around 30% of the capital accrued through ICOs, that is about $4.4 billion, was for projects in the financial sector, highlighting a healthy avenue for fintech investments and clear indication of the technology trajectory undertaken by the banking and financial sector. The greatest share of ICOs are based on the Ether or Ethereum platforms, and these capture about 85% of global ICOs. The marketplace is populated by many service platforms such as CoinStation, Token Data, and Bench. A recent study by Aldami et al. Conducted on a sample of ICOs in 2017 found that ICO campaign success rate is rather high, 81%, and the success may be linked to a number of factors. First, the availability of project source code. Second, whether there has been an organized token pre-sale. And third, whether ICOs give investors access to services. ICO service platform usually advise a clear and open ICO white paper as a requirement of ICO campaigns. Interestingly, however, the availability of a white paper did not prove to be a significant predictor of success in the study. Thank you.